Yeah. Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Welcome to the Week 7 Tailgate Show, otherwise known as Bipocalypse, Everybody Injured Week, whatever you want to call it. It's a hot mess in fantasy football, so you know what? I was going to switch it up a little bit. I wanted to relax in my chair. I wanted to kick back. Got my feet up on a footrest here. Figured I'd just move the camera and hold the microphone because it wouldn't reach from my desk. So you know what? We're winging it. It's Friday afternoon. Time to kick back and relax a little bit. We got a lot of great information for you here still today. Got some end of the week news we're going to go through. How about a Pristine mystery box? Forgot to grab the mystery box. Hold on a second. Got it. Crisis averted. Guess I should have grabbed that before I decided to get all relaxed. But oh well. We got it here. We're going to be opening that up. Plus, we're giving away an autographed jersey from last week's mystery box. You want to make sure you stay tuned for that. The Tailgate Chef is in the house with a delicious recipe. Our own Tater Miles giving a weather update, some DFS picks of the weeks, and point spread picks of the weeks. But you know what we're going to do first? We're going to kick it off here with end of the week news. And what about Thursday Night Football? What about the performance of D'Ernest Johnson of the Cleveland Browns? Now, I need to make sure I preface something here real quick. You need to make sure that you watch the videos all throughout the week because as things change, as they progress, in case you haven't wondered or noticed, things in the NFL change like daily. And that's why we do daily videos, is just to keep you updated on things that change. Earlier in the week, I was a lot higher on Demetric Felton than I was D'Ernest Johnson. They at the time had no Odell Beckham, no Jarvis Landry. Both Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin were not practicing on the offensive line, and they still had Baker Mayfield. After Mayfield was ruled out, after we knew that Landry was going to play, and Odell was going to play, and that Jedrick Wills was going to play, things changed, right? So during the ranking show, we talked about D'Ernest Johnson and these changes, and I catapulted him up my rankings and said, the guy's going to get the volume. Now we have to start him and put him inside the top 24 overall. So you have to make sure that as the week is going on, you're watching all the videos, because when things change, I mean, we can't control the future. We can only talk about things as they happen. So make sure, lesson learned, you're watching all the shows throughout the week. What about Deshaun Watson? We've been talking a lot about Deshaun Watson here this week, right? Some trade rumors, some three-way team trades, talking about him going to Miami, sending Tua to Washington. This is something we need to pay close attention to because I do believe here that Deshaun Watson is going to be on another team here probably pretty soon. Does that really affect much this year? Somewhat, I guess you can say, but more so next season. I would love to see Tua in Washington. I really would. I mean, Tua to Terry, that sounds pretty cool, right? I mean, I would not hate that whatsoever, but it's something we pay attention to. We're not speculating on where he's going or commenting on the entire Deshaun Watson situation. That's another show, another time. I'm too busy relaxing right now to worry about all that stress, but I do believe that Deshaun Watson will be on another team here shortly. Where do you think he goes? Leave a comment down below. Where do you want to see Deshaun Watson playing football next? Because it's not going to be in Houston. That much is for sure. What about Paris Campbell? He's already hurt again. This guy is like permanent. Heck, T.Y. Hilton hurt again as well. They cannot keep healthy pass-catching weapons in Indianapolis. Carson Wentz has been playing great football. The problem is now, who else is he going to throw it to? So he's got Michael Pittman. We know about Mo Cox, Mo problems once they get into the red zone, but he's not really somebody who's soaking up a lot of targets. It's going to be a mess. The good thing is for all you Jonathan Taylor owners out there is he's going to absolutely kill it going forward. Plus guard Quentin Nelson, he's designated to return. He can within the next, I believe, 21 days or so to the active roster. So I mean, the offensive line is getting healthier. There's things to pay attention to in Indianapolis. I really wish that, Paris Campbell, who we've liked since we saw him at the Combine firsthand, could stay healthy. It's just not meant to be. Dude is like Will Fuller's little brother at this point. It's bad. Let's see here. Dallas Goedert. He has returned to the team. So we know that there's no Zach Ertz, right? He's in Arizona now, which means that Dallas Goedert is the man in Philadelphia going forward. We know that going down the field is not the strong point of Jalen Hurts. I mean, they struggle at times with consistency going down the field to Jalen Reagor or Devontae Smith. Who is that safe option across the middle, the short to intermediate routes? It's going to be Dallas Goedert. I'm kind of feeling fancy right now. So yeah, pay attention to that. Dallas Goedert owners, he's getting a bump. Latavius Murray, already being told that he's likely out for this week. We kind of knew this a little bit heading into the week. It's why he wasn't ranked inside the top 40. It's why we talked more about Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman. In my opinion, the better option in this backfield this week is going to be Devontae Freeman. I think he sees the bulk of the work on the ground. However, don't be surprised if he does a lot of the work getting them down the field, and then Le'Veon Bell vultures a touchdown or two. So let's hope that, Devontae Freeman can find a way to get it into the end zone at least once for us here this weekend during Bipocalypse. Lastly, and this one just came out not that long ago, Antonio Brown has been ruled out, and Gronk is not going to play. So what do we do about Tampa Bay? Because Tampa Bay, in a matchup going up against Chicago, is a team that we know can put up points on anyone, pretty much, right? Tom Brady playing great football, but it's because he has so many weapons to throw it to. So this is going to bump up the likelihood of the production of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Maybe we see a little bit more O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate. But another name, and this may be, I'm chilling and relaxing right now when I bring up this name. Do we see more Ronald Jones this week? I love me some Leonard Fournette and what he's doing in this backfield, but with some pass-catching weapons banged up, does Ronald Jones get an opportunity, maybe just a little bit more than what we've seen in weeks past? Not anxious to go out there and start Ronald Jones. I don't care how bad the week is, but he's just a name that will not surprise me if by the end of the game has had more production this week than we've seen over weeks past. Just something to pay attention to. But for Mike Evans owners, Chris Godwin owners, this is a good thing for you because now the target share has to go somewhere. Antonio Brown has obviously been kind of like option number one in this offense. So it's going the way of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, which is a good thing. But that's going to wrap up the end of the week news. That's everything that has broken here since our last videos have come out. We had our injury video this morning, but now it's time to give something away. And I mentioned this yesterday during my ranking shows. So once again, watch all the shows, people, because you're going to find out all the information all throughout the week. I announced yesterday during the running back and quarterback ranking show who was going to be the winner of, wasn't really within arm's reach, the autographed yellow Justin Jefferson. You can see the signature. Where's the camera? Right there. Justin Jefferson, yellow alternate jersey. And I said, hey, if you're interested in this, leave a comment on the video for the running back and wide receiver rankings. People did. People left a lot of comments saying that they were interested in that jersey. So we've picked a winner. The winner is Brad Fremantle. And Brad left this comment randomly selected here on YouTube. It says, Jake, my son Aiden is a high school football player, and he's an enormous Justin Jefferson fan. He turns 16 November 17th, and this would be incredible. I can't even read it so far away. It'd be incredible to be able to gift him. Thanks for the videos, Brad. Brad, I already left you a message here on YouTube. Get in touch with me. We will ship it out to you, and make sure you tell your son, happy birthday from Headliner Nation. I'm not going to be like Kyle and sing to you because then it just gets a little bit weird and cringy, and I'm not the greatest singer. But maybe this can start getting him a little bit more interested in fantasy football if he's not already. Just say, hey, there's this awesome fantasy channel out there. They gave me this jersey. You should probably follow them and tell all of your friends on the team to follow them. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody, Brad, but congratulations. Glad we could send that out. Don't forget, though, watch the rankings videos because now we're going to find out what are we getting this week. What is in this mystery box that says even, it's upside down, says week 7. Pristine Auction sends me random boxes. You can tell it's not even opened yet on this side or this side. I have no idea what is in this box. I did not plan accordingly because I only have one hand to open the box. So I may struggle a little bit, but we're going to open this together. And one of the items here in this box will be given away during this show next week. So make sure you follow, you hit the subscribe button. But also, most importantly, if you enjoy getting all these giveaways, we got to head over to pristineauction.com. Sign yourself up for an account. If you use the referral code Headliners, we're going to give you a $10 off coupon. I mean, they have some amazing stuff over there, thousands of auctions, things as low as $1 that you can bid on. If you're looking for it, more than likely they have it old school players, new school players, Hall of Famers, award winners. They got almost everything in my office is from Pristine Auction. They are great. And if you like these giveaways and you want the giveaways to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more often, we need to make sure we set up an account because if you don't, they're not going to want to send us things because we're not sending customers their way. So do us a favor and just sign up for that account. But I'm not going to look, though. I don't want to see who is in it. It's a skinny box. So I guess I should put this by my mouth. It's a skinny box. That's what she said. Let's see what's inside. Now, I'm going to feel. I feel 2 items. Feels like 2 jerseys once again. So last week we had DeAndre Hopkins and the Justin Jefferson we just gave away. One of these items will be given away at least next week, maybe even both of them, depending on what it is, right? So let's see. First one, no idea what it is. It is a signed, oh, look, it's a signed Odell Beckham Cleveland Browns jersey. Now, Odell Beckham may be one of the most hated players ever in the NFL. Everybody just loves to hate on Odell. Dude can't stay healthy all the time, but I know we got some Browns fans. I know we got members of the Dog Pound that are watching. Is anybody interested in a signed Odell Beckham jersey? If you are, make sure you watch the ranking show next week and see what you got to do to maybe get that. Now, there's another one in here. Another jersey. This one is a signed Dallas Cowboys Amari Cooper. You see it right there. It says a coop. Awesome. The blue signed Amari Cooper jersey. Another guy that's, banged up a lot, but produces when he's healthy and has Dak Prescott as his quarterback. So maybe both of these get given away next week. I mean, maybe we're feeling frisky. We want to give one away, this weekend during a live show. You have to pay attention, follow all throughout the weeks, hit that subscribe button because we love doing that. But make sure, most importantly, like I said, if you want to have opportunities for giveaways, we need to make sure that everybody's heading over to pristineauction.com, link down below in the description. Set up that account, use the referral code Headliners. We'll send you that $10 off coupon, and you will be entered and ready to go when we give these things away. But now it's time to head over to the Tailgate Chef. I've been sitting here, I've been talking for a while. I'm getting hungry. Let's see what he's cooking for us here in week 7.
Hey everybody, it's John here with the Fantasy Headliners Tailgate Pick of the Week. Tonight we're going to do some loaded hash browns with a couple of eggs. Y'all come on and check it out. Alright, so we're going to start out here. I got about 3 slices of thick cut bacon I've chopped up. Got some country breakfast sausage there. Gonna brown it up. And once I get a little grease going from the bacon and sausage there, I got about a half an onion right there, 1/4 of an onion, so we'll cook it in that grease. Alright, so I got my sausage and my onions done. I'm going to push them off to the side over here, let them stay warm. My bacon's getting close. So now, put a little oil on here, and we're going to start my hash browns. It'll probably take about 5 or 6 minutes per side. We'll get them kind of brown. Everything gets done, we'll pull everything back together, put the bacon, the sausage, and the onions in there with it. Trick with the hash browns, you want to get them spread out and get them cooking and leave them alone. That way they'll brown up. Alright, we got our hash browns about done there. Got my onions and my bacon there. Put them back on top. Got my sausage there. Give them just a minute here. Put a little cheese on them. And while we got that, do a couple of eggs. There you go. I like to bust my eggs up, let them yolks run in there with my hash browns and all. Hope you enjoy it.
Hit the like button. Do you guys ever eat breakfast for dinner? We eat breakfast for dinner like a lot. and I really enjoy breakfast at all times of the day. Some loaded hash browns, absolutely amazing. You put ketchup on your loaded hash browns? Do you put Tabasco on? What do you put? Do you put salsa? I mean, let me know down below in the comment section, what do you put on your loaded hash browns? But now it's time to take a look at the weather, and there's no one better in the business than Tater Miles to tell us what's going on.
Hey everybody, it's Tater Miles here, and we're headed into the weekend, brother. I got you with another beer review and, of course, your weekend weather update. We do have some games that look to have some questionable weather, so stick around for that. But let's get started with this week's beer review. Before we get started with this today's choice, I just want to remind you to leave your favorite beer down in the comments section. Always looking for new beers to try. Like me, you just like Bud Light. You can just say Bud Light down in the comments. That's good. The Ellison Space Dust. Now, I've only been to space once to know about that. But this Elysian Space Dust is an IPA. And let's read what it says here. It says, the hopping is pure Starglow energy. It sounds like some something there, with Chinook to bitter and late and dry additions of Citra and Amarillo. Now this one is 8.2% ABV, so you better watch out with this one. After about 4 or 5 of these, you'd feel like you'd gone to space, that's for sure. You'd be floating around, anti-gravity. It is an IPA. Let's try this one sip. Everybody knows the rules. The Elysian Space Dust. The IPA, what I call the IPA bitterness that you get from it, which I do enjoy, is not as strong on this one. So this is definitely, if I had to create a new category of IPA, I would say a transitional IPA. Now I'm not gonna rate this based on seasonal preference. I just as an overall beer, but I think I'll give this a 7.2. This is pretty good. I recommend checking it out if you can maybe find it in your local grocery store. You will not breathe space dust like this fella on the bottle. Can you see it? Space dust breath. Now I got 4 games to talk to you about today. The first one is the Chicago Bears at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down there in Tampa. It's going to be about 86 degrees, so pretty warm still for this time of year. But there is a 38% chance of precipitation, about an 8-mile-per-hour wind, east-northeast. So just some questionable things to look out for there. Might have a little bit of rain, so definitely watch out for this one. Moving on, we got New Orleans going to Seattle, and if there's one thing I know about Seattle, it's that it rains. And there's a 94% chance of rain come game time for this one, so it's gonna be about 52 degrees, so it's gonna be a little bit of a chilly rain too. Now we have Atlanta Falcons playing the Miami Dolphins. Here we are in Florida again, and we find ourselves about 83 degrees, still pretty warm down there in those parts of the country, but a 58% chance of rain here at this game time. Once again, scary red lightning bolt weather and some 10-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming out of the east, so I definitely look at this one. There's a good chance it's going to be raining much earlier in the day, carrying over into game time, so that's definitely one that we want to keep an eye on. And then we save the best or the worst for last, depending on what your definitions of best and worst are. We got the Indianapolis Colts playing the San Francisco 49ers, and it's another red lightning bolt, scary 99% chance of precipitation in this one. There ain't nothing much to say about this other than it's gonna rain. We got winds coming out of the south at 18 miles per hour. It's gonna be raining sideways, up and down, all over the place on this one. And any of those guys out there with the visors on their helmet gonna need some windshield wipers. And that does it for this week's weekend weather report and beer review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week right here on the Weekend Tailgate. Back to you, Jake.
Awesome, Tater. I can't get enough of Tater Miles. I wish Tater would do his own show every single week. Maybe next year, maybe next season, Tater gets his own segment. We'd like to see more Tater, because that dude, I love Tater. I mean, that's like my spirit animal right there. All right, what about What about those of you who want to play some DFS this week? You want to set some lineups on DraftKings? Our own Justin Freeman is here from runthesims.com to let you know a few of the DFS plays of the week.
What's up, headliners? Justin Freeman here from runthesims.com, and we are going to be talking about the Week 7 DraftKings DFS main slate. It is a 10-game slate. We're starting to condense. Everything's starting to come together for these bye weeks. We're getting a lot of injuries through the meat grinder of the NFL season, so we're starting to see some value pop up. And that's going to be what catches our eye. We're looking for players that are underpriced, and we're looking for players that give us an advantage over our opponents. That's the name of the game. We're going to take their money in the DFS lobby on DraftKings, FanDuel, wherever you're playing. Today, we're going to go over the 10-game main slate over on DraftKings. Why don't we hop on over into our Run the Sims Optimizer. You can get this for yourself, runthesims.com. Use code headliners for 10% off your subscription. We've got weekly, monthly, and season-long options available for you right there. As always, I've got it sorted by optimal rate, which is how often each of these players through 10,000 simulations pops up in the optimal lineup. And we've got a clear number one answer here at the quarterback position, which is Lamar Jackson, a guy who is underpriced at $7,400. As we sort of look at the high priced options at quarterback this week, you've got Mahomes at $8,400, Murray at $8,500, Lamar Jackson coming in $1,000 cheaper than those guys. Looks like a smash play. People are forgetting, or at least the pricing algorithm at DraftKings is forgetting, Lamar Jackson's on fire. He's playing very similar to the way he did in his MVP season. He's playing well in the passing game and the running game. We'll see two of his pass catching options pop up as close to optimal as well. So it gives us some great stacking options. $7,400, a nice middle ground price point compared to the truly elite options at that position via salary. $6,900 will let us get to Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia takes on the Raiders this week. We're going to see some good opportunities to pair Jalen Hurts with Dallas Goedert, who's coming off the COVID-19 list. Looks like a strong value here himself. As always, Patrick Mahomes, even though he's $1,000 more than Lamar Jackson, certainly in play here for the Chiefs taking on the Titans. Highest total game by a wide margin here across the top of the board. Look, you can see the totals for these games. 43, 42 and a half, 57 there for the Chiefs to Tennessee Titans game. 48, 47, 46, 49. There's one more 50-point total there for Detroit, LA, and then 47, 47 there to finish us out. So you can see the totals are really down this week. Two games that stand out as potential stacking options, but obviously we love that shootout opportunity for Kansas City going up against Derrick Henry and the Titans. Derek Carr and Kyler Murray round out the top five, give you a good variety of price points to choose from here. You've got the super elite price points there with Mahomes and Murray. You've got your middle ground option with Lamar Jackson and even Jalen Hurts right there. And you've got your much more bargain bin type price with Derek Carr, who started off really hot, starting to fade a little bit, possibly could come back up to earth here this week. Looking at the running back position, probably no surprise, Derrick Henry, $9,200, despite that price tag, still pops up as optimal 21% of the time. Smash play here against the Chiefs. Chiefs can't stop anybody on the ground or in the air. Look for Derrick Henry to do his normal Derrick Henry things. Despite that price tag, we're going to have to look for some value elsewhere. And perhaps this is a good opportunity for us to do it. Some good middle price running backs. Darrell Henderson continues to do it all for the Rams, takes on the Lions, possibly the worst run defense in the NFL. And Henderson has the benefit of a potential injury to Sony Michel. Sony Michel looks like he's a bit banged up, trending in the wrong direction as we record this here for you tonight. Chuba Hubbard, $6,100 for the Panthers. Kind of an opposite scenario here where the Panthers did sign Amir Abdullah off the street. He'll come in and compete for passing game work, similar to the way Rodney Smith chipped away at the passing game role for Chuba Hubbard over the last few weeks before he was cut. So if Hubbard does not have that passing game work, certainly makes him a lot less attractive, but still he's in play there going against the Giants at $6,100. Speaking of passing game work, DeAndre Swift continues to get numbers really similar to some low-end wide receiver ones around the league, soaking up close to 20% of the targets there for the Lions. $6,000, even though he's only getting half the work in the running game, it doesn't matter. He gets all that passing game work. and he seems to be starting to run away with the job ahead of Jamal Williams. They'll take on the Rams. Not the best matchup in the world, but DeAndre Swift being that involved in the passing game sort of makes him a bit game script proof. Obviously, we don't want them to throw a shutout either, which is always a possibility with the Lions. Miles Sanders, 5,100, takes on the Raiders. Miles Sanders' role has been growing in this Eagles offense as Kenneth Gainwell has been given a bit of a backseat. So as we're trying to figure out most likely scenarios here, I think Miles Sanders continues to ascend. The coaching staff has had a lot of positive things to say about wanting to get Miles Sanders more involved in these games. Looking at the receiver position, I mentioned that some of Lamar Jackson's weapons would pop up here, and here's our first one. Marquise Brown, priced entirely too low at $5,800. Marquise Brown has been getting the volume of regular number one wide receivers, and the Baltimore Ravens are starting to throw the ball quite a bit more than we've seen them do in years past. Devontae Adams, 8,900, going up against Washington. Washington couldn't stop anything if they wanted to, much less the best receiver in football, despite that price tag. And you may have to choose between playing Derrick Henry or Devontae Adams. It may be tough to get them both in there, but Adams can certainly pay off. About 17.8% of the time currently coming in as optimal. Cooper Kupp, 8,400, going against the Lions. Obviously, we talked about Darrell Henderson. Supreme matchup for Henderson. Perfectly fine one for Cooper Kupp. The problem is, do we think that the Rams are going to need to put the pedal to the metal for 4 quarters against the Lions? Probably not. Sterling Shepard, 5,600. Again, too underpriced. We want to monitor a potential injury going on with Sterling Shepard, though. Popped up on the injury report midweek. Never a good sign. Going up against the Panthers, Shepard locked into about 30% of the targets there in the Giants passing game. A.J. Brown, 6,300, another guy who is on the injury report this week, going against the Chiefs. Apparently, A.J. Brown had some bad Chipotle. It's given him a bad case of the runs, and I feel bad for the guy. He just wants to go out there and practice football and play, and he can't get off the toilet. If he can get off the toilet long enough to suit up for 3 hours on Sunday afternoon, fire him up at 6,300. Let's round it out with the tight ends, and we'll talk about Mark Andrews, another Raven here. We love the Ravens this week. Andrews, 6,000, going against the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, a perfect option to pair with Lamar Jackson. Gives you a great opportunity to sort of knock that tight end position out of your roster as you're building out. Travis Kelce, $7,600 against the Titans. Again, we talked about Mahomes, another natural pass catcher for us to pair with him there. Darren Waller, 6,700. We've kind of got the big three there, right? Andrews, Kelce, and Waller as sort of the premier options. They all look like they're worth paying up for this week. Like Andrews, the best of that group. He's $700 cheaper than Waller. Dallas Goedert, TJ Hawkinson rounding out the top 5. Of course, Goddard coming off the COVID-19 list. He's active. He should be ready to rock and roll with no Zach Ertz. That means he'll get all those tight end targets divvied up between him and Jack Stoll. We're not worried about that. It looks like it's going to be Dallas Goedert all the way here in this offense. And Hawkinson, could he come back to his week 1 form? He looked so good in week 1, has not really lived up to the billing since then. I do want to also mention Mike Gesicki, priced down at $4,700. Since Tua Tagovailoa has been the quarterback for the Dolphins, he has seemed to have a direct eye for finding Mike Gesicki wherever he is on the field. That's going to do it for week 7, guys. Head on over to runthesims.com. Use code HEADLINERS. Buy yourself a subscription today. It can be weekly, monthly, or the rest of the season. We've got great price points available for you. Hop on in. We'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Justin. And now on to the guy who may have the most difficult job of all of us here this week. It's Chris Chows, who's back in the house talking point spread picks for some games that are just absolute messes this week, right? We know about all the bye weeks and we know about all the injuries, trying to figure out the point spreads. That is glad that's something that I don't have to do. We're going to throw it over to Chris now to find out what's going on here in week 7.
What is up, Headliner Nation? Chris Chow's back again for Point Spread Picks, man. Week number 7. Unreal, man. With the season is just flying by. Last week was a brutal one for us, and I'll call it Vegas Rig Week. If you guys don't know, everything was going wrong, man. Vegas got all the money back that they were paying out, and we were a byproduct of that. We gave a lot of money back to Vegas, and it was straight up Rig Week. We get 2 or 3 of those weeks a season where the spreads are covered, and all all of a sudden, like the Tampa Bay game on Thursday Night Football where they go for 2 for no reason. Like, come on, man. Philly, you cost everybody money. But anyway, nevertheless, my record was 5-9. Ouch, man, last week. Terrible record. Still on the season. We're 10 games above the 500 mark. Still got money in the pocket. All time still looking good. But nevertheless, we do got a lot of games to cover. So let's go rapid fire as per usual, man. Washington at Green Bay. The Packers favored by 7.5. Green Bay continues to roll and looking sharp since their week 1 loss. They look really good. Despite their injuries on the defensive backside, Washington continues to underwhelm on both sides of the ball. They're trying, they're competing, but at this point, we cannot trust this defense whatsoever to not stop the ball. Aaron Rodgers and company should be able to do damage. This feels like a trap game on the spread simply because of 7.5, but you know what? I cannot go aside from Green Bay right now. They are 5-1 versus the spread so far, and Washington just doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies. I'm going Green Bay. Next is Kansas City, -4.5 at Tennessee. One of the harder games on the slate to cover, man, because of what happened last week on Monday Night Football to my Buffalo Bills. Derrick Henry just ran free. Kansas City defense isn't as strong either, so you think the same is going to happen. Vegas is still baiting us at 4.5. Kansas City did find their stride, I should say, last week in that second half after they had such inadequacy, turning the ball over. Kansas City needs this win much more than Tennessee does at this point, but we know, will Derrick Henry run? Yes, he will. We just know he will. It's a gamble to take this team, but at home, coming off that big win against the Buffalo Bills, I got to go Tennessee with Derrick Henry +4.5. This one scares me, though, so I don't fault you for taking Kansas City if that's the way you want to lean. Next one is Atlanta -2.5 at Miami. Atlanta's coming off the bye, getting Calvin Ridley back, which is a positive. Miami somehow did not get the bye after coming back from London. What does the NFL hate the Finns? I don't know what's going on in that respect. The Finns haven't looked sharp overall. Now, the rumor that Tua could be dealt within the coming weeks before the trade deadline. There's a lot of disarray in this locker room, in this team right now. Too much for them to overcome. I like Atlanta coming off the bye, -2.5. New York Jets at the New England Patriots, -7 for the Pats. This spread is made simply due to the part of how New England played the Dallas Cowboys last week. They look sharp, man. Mac Money Jones has looked good at home. Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks. We know how he performs. And New York, obviously, they're coming off the bye, but they have lost 3 of 5 games by more than 7 points this season. I just can't trust it anymore. I'm trying. I was like, you know what? With the LaFleur offense, with Wilson, I would think that they would be spread killers all year long. They just haven't showed it. I'm going New England. I think Mac Money Jones gives it to Zach Wilson this week. Carolina -3 at New York Giants. The Panthers came out the gates rolling, but since have fallen back down to earth. The drops last week for all these wide receivers, this was not on Sam Darnold. This was on all their wide receivers. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, they couldn't catch a cold last week. Hopefully they rectify that. New York Giants continue to struggle with massive injuries. I doubt they're going to get anybody back. Shepard is likely the only wide receiver healthy to return. Carolina will get Steph Gilmore back from injury after that trade with the New England Patriots, so that's a big ups. I'm going with Carolina -3 with a bounce back here. Must win for the Carolina Panthers. Cincinnati at Baltimore, -6.5 for the Ravens. While I love what Cincinnati is doing all over the field on the offensive side, they're finding new ways in their pass game. They're starting to pick up in the ground game, utilizing Mixon in the pass. How can you not love what Cincinnati's doing? But as for Baltimore, Lamar Jackson has just been on fire these last 3 weeks. Lamar is just on another planet. He has got this offense rolling. The run game is moving with Freeman, with Bell now. They still sprinkle in some Lat Murray. This team is very difficult to stop. And now they're sprinkling in a little bit more of Mark Andrews. How can you go away from Lamar Jackson at this point? I made that mistake last week. I will not this week. -6.5 for Baltimore. Let's go to the bank, baby. Do it. Do it now. Philly at the Las Vegas Raiders. Man, -3 for the Raiders. While I thought the Vegas Raiders would struggle last week with all the trouble with the John Gruden situation, they came out the gates, man. It actually ramped them up and it brought them together. They looked very sharp last week and like they were trying to prove a point. This week, I wonder if it translates over from last week or if it was kind of like, that one effect week that pumps them up. This week, they get Philly off the long rest from Thursday Night Football. Philly tried and made a comeback against Tampa Bay, just was short-lived. This is a very interesting contest for me, but I like how Philly moves this ball when they can. I just want to see that run game. Can they run the damn ball once in a while, please? Miles Sanders is getting lonely back there without getting touches. I think Philly finds a way. I'm going to go +3 Philadelphia Eagles, man. Detroit at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are favored by -15, if you can believe this. I mean, the Rams are one of the best teams in the league. This is the Stafford and Goff revenge game, man. They both got traded, obviously, for each other with draft picks to each other's clubs. The Lions literally won't be able to compete on both sides of the ball. I mean, it just is what it is. Even if Goff finds ways to get in the end zone after his coach kind of called him out in the press conference, I mean, LA is just going to destroy this Detroit Lions defense. -15, I feel good about it. It's a big spread, but the way that the Rams are playing, I can't go away. I'm going Rams -15. Another big spread on the docket. Houston taking travel to Arizona -17.5. Even though the spread has me running for the hills, I can't stand huge spreads like this. It is just crazy talk. But you know what? This game has me intrigued. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Zona is moving the ball basically on whomever they please. Even without Cliff Kingsbury on the sidelines last week, they were still able to move the ball very good. This is the D-Hop and J.J. Watt revenge game, baby. And you know, you get ready for fireworks, man. Get your popcorn and watch this game because you know both these men are going to come and try to take it to their old club. Hate the spread 100%, but I'm going to take Arizona here -17.5 on the big spread. I can't do it, man. Whatever. We're going to go and we're going to win it. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Next one is Chicago at Tampa Bay, -12.5 for the Buccaneers. Even though travel will be an issue for Chicago, they have improved the offense to be more simplistic for Fields. Fields will have his struggles versus defensive line, but hopefully he can exploit the injuries to the secondary. And then Tampa Bay, on the other hand, they're moving in the right direction, but they always seem to fall short at the end of games to cover these spreads. They win the contest, but then they end up killing you on the spread, man. Their ATS right now is terrible. I'm going to roll with Chicago to kill this spread late in hopes that they're going to cover the +12.5 because 12.5 just seems a little too much, even though it is in Tampa Bay. Sunday Night Football. We got the Indianapolis Colts going up against the San Francisco 49ers with the Colts. When the Colts find the run game, I should say, is there anything that can stop them? Literally, when JT is running, I mean, they put up 31 last week and in full control. Carson Wentz looked very good dissecting the field off of that play action pass. We know what Carson Wentz is. He just is a baller when it comes to play action, man. Get that run game going. He will feel a lot more comfortable, and he's going to be able to exploit defensive backs. The 49ers are coming off the bye week and could get Jimmy G back this week, which is it an uptick? Is it not? I'm not a Jimmy G fan anymore. I can't support his cause. I think that, even if he comes back, yes, he will be that game manager that will move the ball, so it will have somewhat of an uptick in that regard. But while I do like the 49ers game overall, I do like their defense, Indy just seems to be moving in that right direction. Maybe not fully improved, but they're moving in the right direction that I truly like them. This should be a 3-point game. I'm going Indy +4. Monday Night Football. We got the New Orleans Saints coming off the bye, -4.5 at the Seattle Seahawks. And I mean, the Saints, they might start slow because they've had a lot of rest, right? So get ready for that. Come out the gates a little bit sluggish, and then they'll hopefully find their groove as the first quarter ends, or close to end of the first quarter. Getting a lot of their players back from the IR is a welcome sight. They will have more horses in the stable to do damage. Seattle, on the other hand, I mean, they competed last week, but it's Geno, and Geno is just going to be him, man. We know what Geno cannot do, and I don't even know how Pittsburgh allowed him to come back last week, but I mean, they did enough to kill the spread, like I said, versus Pittsburgh, but Kamara and company should roll off bye week rest, and they need this win, -4.5. I'm going with the Saints, baby, all day long. Let's have a better week this week. That is all I got on week number 7. Point spread picks. Get that money. Please play responsibly. I wish you nothing but the best of luck, and we'll see you next week. I am out.
Awesome, Chris. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys all go over to Headliner U and subscribe over there. That dude is killing it with some college football stuff all year long. You don't want to miss out. There's a link down below in the description to that as well. But that's going to wrap up week 7 here. Only thing we got left for the week are a couple live streams this weekend, right? Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then Kyle does a members-only live stream on Sunday. I believe he does it right around 11:30 or so in the morning, getting you guys up until kickoff with everything else that's late and breaking before the games start. But we've covered everything from waiver wire to start sits, rankings, injury updates, had some fun here, got some stuff to give away. It's another good week, right? Even though fantasy football caused a lot of gray hair and some hair to fall out, we still have a lot of fun doing it, and you need to make sure that you don't lose sight of this is supposed to be a game that we all have fun and enjoy with. There's a lot of hate that can get, spread around super quick over fantasy football. Don't let yourself fall into that hole. It's not worth it. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to give you something to take your mind off the day-to-day crap that a lot of people, that we all deal with. Everybody's got it. So let's make sure we go out there, we stay a positive community, enjoy each other's company, talk some football, and have ourselves a great Week 7. So hopefully you guys had a great week. Looking forward to talking to you here on the live show this weekend. But until then, we'll talk to you later.